I used to play a lot of mobile racing games. Because, well, cars were pretty much my thing and have always been, and they still are to this day. So, yeah, this is why I decided for this video, I'm going to be talking about all the nostalgic slash older mobile racing games that I used to play, or even the ones that used to exist that I maybe haven't played, but maybe I will cover some of them in the future. This is because for the recent series, Forlorn Classics, you should probably check that out. I've been talking a lot about some classic mobile or DS racing games that I used to play and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of getting a little tired now because I do want to talk about some other media like movies or shows instead of just video games. I've been doing that for Forlorn Classics since the first episode. So this is going to be one of the last videos I'm going to be talking about mobile racing games, and I'm going to try and be covering most of these old / nostalgic games in this video. So, yeah, I will probably talk about one of them, or at least a few of them in further detail in a future Forlorn Class episode, but yeah, this is similar to like my Craven vs. the Seven video, where I do want to talk about different subjects outside of the series they were made for, just for one special video. So, without further ado, I'm going to be taking a look at some classic and nostalgic mobile racing games. And by the way, this video idea was inspired by another YouTuber named Fry Guy who also did a video about this subject, so you should probably check him out, and the link to his video will be in the description of this video. So yeah, let's go. Rush and Crush was developed by Netmarble Games. It was released on November 24th, 2015, and was last updated on January 26, 2016. What you do in this game is that you race past traffic and just destroy them all and shit. And you can even use boosters to make your car go faster. And once again, you can choose all the other cars you like and stuff. And it's also an endless runner and action game too, obviously. You can also draft behind cars to speed up. They use the boosters like we did once again. And you can even play in real-time race against other players from around the world, essentially. But yeah, I think this game looks pretty cool, but though I never played it, though I'm still gonna talk about it and stuff. But unfortunately, this game was removed from the App Store, and it seems like you can't play it anymore because maybe the server shut down. I don't really know what happened to this game. It just removed from the App Store one day. But yeah, I really do like the designs of the cars. They're pretty cool, and I generally just really like this game's aesthetic. It looks absolutely insane as you destroy everything in your path, and you could even jump off ramps here as you see in this footage right now. So this game is pretty cool. It sucks that it was removed though, and you seemingly can't play it anymore. Redline Rush was developed by Dogbyte Games. It was released on May 3rd, 2013. It was last updated on March 3rd, 2022. It's simple enough as you pretty much race around in your car, weave around traffic, avoid crashing, and you can even dodge from the cops, really. And it was described by one of the reviewers of this game: imagine Burnout and Temple Run had a baby, and you'll have a good idea of what this game is all about. Yeah, that's literally a quote, basically. That's just one of the many reviews for this game. Yeah, basically you can choose from a few different cars, and you can even collect coins and stuff, and yeah. I remember playing this game a lot back in the day, and it was super fun. I always ended up trying to get that Porsche-looking red car in the end, but I never did. So, yeah. But even then, this game is still pretty fun. And even this game is still available on the App Store, so you can still play it. So if you have the chance, please check out this game, honestly. It might not be the best thing in the world, and the graphics aren't super detailed, but it's still a fun experience. Tabletop Racing was developed by Playwrights Digital. It was released on June 24th, 2014, and was last updated on July 11th of that same year. So this game didn't exactly last too long in terms of longevity, but still, this game was the fucking childhood game I used to play so much when I was little. I mean, seriously, I used to play this game so many times, and I always ended up trying to get that blue Tokyo Drift car, but I never ended up getting it once again. And even also, I ended up thinking about these cars a lot and really wanting them for their own series, but obviously that never fucking happened, really, so that kind of sucked. But still, this game was so cool. I especially really liked the designs of the different toy cars you use, and despite the power-ups being pretty basic, like a bomb, missile, EMP, and boost, they were still really good. And the ice cream truck will always be one of my favorite parts of this game. And also the game modes are really cool too, like having to touch someone really or another driver before the timer ran out, standard time trial, standard race, and there's even championships where you compete for different cups. Like, I remember this one, the Spark Plug Cup, was it? Yeah, it was that. It was really, really cool. But once again, this game doesn't really seem to work that well anymore, because every time I try to download it, it says resources cannot be found. So yeah, even tried downloading an older version of the game, but it still didn't work. So that's unfortunate. It sucks that this game doesn't really go as well as it used to. But if you still can possibly still play it somehow, if you have enough resources, if you do, please try this game. It's absolutely a classic. And I've already discussed this game in a Forlorn Classics episode, so make sure to check that out on the channel, if you still can too. Hot Wheels Race Off was developed by Hutch Games. It was released on October 21st, 2016, and was last updated on March 1st, 2021. You play as Hot Wheels cars, obviously, but they're bigger now in size as you race around in different tracks and different locations, such as a city, a desert, or even some other place in the fucking night. I don't know. And you can even perform stunts to perform better in races, I guess, and even score more points. And you also must collect fuel before your car runs out of it and you just get disqualified from the race. And you can also get more cars through getting these tokens that are related to the vehicle and stuff. So yeah, but there's also a twist to this game. Basically, if you fall over or at least go on the upside down or at least crash in some way, if you touch that little antenna that's on the car, your car will explode and will be disqualified from the race. So this kind of adds a little bit of tension to the game, as you don't want to perform a weak stunt or not just run out of fuel and shit. But yeah, basically so. Really, this game was really cool. I remember playing it some time ago. It's not really that old, but still. But unfortunately, once again, this game was removed from the App Store a while back, or at least maybe earlier than that, which kind of sucks because this game wasn't perfect, but it still wasn't that bad anyway. I remember being pretty fun, honestly, but you can probably still get it on Aptoide or another app-related store, maybe an APK or something. Maybe it would still work that way. But yeah, you still can check out this game. It's pretty cool. Maybe I'll cover it in depth later in the future in Forlorn Classics. Traffic Racer was developed by SK Games. It was released on September 24th, 2012, and was last updated on June 19th, 2023. Now, this game is another absolute classic. I remember playing this a lot when I was younger, much like Tabletop Racing and a few others I'll probably mention in this video. And honestly, the nostalgia factor is really just how chill the game is. Even the main menu theme is super chill and relaxing, and it's pretty cool. Have a listen to it. There are also many different cars you can choose from, and the game is pretty much still available on the App Store, I think, so you can still play it. Yeah, I did play this game once back again, you know, to relive some memories, and it was still just as good. So I highly recommend you check out this game too. I'm highly recommending a lot of games you play, but, you know, yeah. Ridge Racer Splitstream was developed by Bandai Namco. It was released on December 12, 2013. It was last updated on October 19, 2017. It's essentially a classic type Ridge Racer game. It's mostly inspired by Ridge Racer 6 and 7. 6 I already covered in Forlorn Classics, but 7 I've never played. And I've also never played Ridge Racer Splitstream, but what looks of it, it looks pretty cool. It looks like a standard Ridge Racer game, and you race around different tracks and different cars, and even Ryuko, the woman, is back, so that's pretty awesome. And in general, the graphics and the gameplay stuff do look pretty cool, and I really like the overall racer aesthetic of it all. So yeah, the sound design is great, the cars look pretty cool, and the soundtrack and the tunes in this game are honestly pretty nice. I really like them. So yeah, this game was eventually removed from the App Store though, and you could probably still get it, definitely still get it on APK and stuff, because I don't know, does it work? I don't know. I've never tested that out because the file size was too large for my other phone, so it didn't really work out. So yeah, anyways, this game is pretty cool, and yeah, it sucks to see that it was removed from the App Store. Now, this game is a weird one. You see, Fast Outlaw Asphalt Surfers is a game where you just choose a different car and you race around weaving traffic and escaping the cops and collecting gold to buy more cars and upgrade your vehicles and shit. Now, this sounds pretty standard, but there's kind of little information about this game. I couldn't exactly find the developer very easily, and it's not really available on many APK stores other than the other one I found, but I couldn't exactly remember the name of it. But still, despite how kind of obscure this game is, it's still pretty decent. I really like it, especially the different car designs and stuff, and even the decals you can choose. Those are kind of the best parts about the game, the different cars you can race around and use, and all of them feel pretty distinct from each other, so that's a pretty good bonus. Also, the graphics themselves look pretty sleek and clean, and I honestly really like that kind of art style. I like racing games that experiment with different art styles and designs and aesthetics, not just always looking realistic all the time and stuff like you see in many different simulator racers. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's just something to shake it up a little bit, you know? But anyways, this game is not on the App Store anymore, and it's not on Google Play anymore either, so you can really only get this game on APK or just download it on another something fucking app place, I don't know. But yeah. And as for the gameplay itself, it's pretty alright, because I've just discussed it already, you know, just described it. It's basically Traffic Racer, but it's more zoomed in, and you can actually go faster than before and actually boost, so yeah. I mean, I would recommend you check out this game, but I don't know if it still works anymore. Mine's did work, but it kind of crashed out after playing it for a little bit, so yeah. Smash Bandits was developed by Hutch Games. It was released on July 12, 2013, and was last updated on September 27, 2023. I've also discussed this game in a Forlorn Classics episode, so be sure to check that out. But this is also another childhood game of mine. I remember it playing it quite a bit in my, older years, maybe still younger years, but just in the middle, really. I really need to describe it that way. In the middle years of my childhood. This is a game where you tap the bottom of the screen in order to make your car accelerate and go faster, really. And you could also get to smash a lot of things in your way in order to gain more points and get more ratings on TV, as you will, because you're actually on live television as you're getting away from the cops on the news, really. So if you smash more things, you get more notoriety for ratings and you get a higher score. And honestly, this game's gameplay is honestly really creative, because you never really see games racing games anyway, where you have to smash stuff to get higher ratings and therefore a higher score. You can even play as a boat in a certain really kind of short amount of time, which is also pretty cool. And there are also many different cars and shit, but honestly, my favorite car out of this entire game had to have been the NASCAR vehicle. That was really fucking cool. And you also play as other different vehicles besides some cars, like a tank, for example. You can even play as the A-Team van, really. Remember the A-Team one? Yeah, that was really, really fucking cool. And honestly, this game is just really nice. This game is, I don't know, maybe still available. I haven't checked yet, but maybe I'll check soon. But yeah, this game is really awesome still, and I highly recommend check it out. It's super rad, man. Fast as Lightning was developed by Gameloft. It was released on October 7th, 2014, and was last updated on September 21st, 2015. Now, this is another classic childhood game. This is pretty much the building blocks for creating my Fast as Lightning series on YouTube back in 2015, and that was pretty much the last year that the game received any new updates, because after that, the game just kind of died, which is pretty unfortunate because I would have loved to see what it would have done with a Cars 3 update or a Cars on the Road update. Yeah, that would have been pretty interesting to see the Cars 3 and Cars on the Road characters in the game, but unfortunately that never happened, and this game has just kind of been dead in the water ever since. Now, the gameplay consists of you getting different Cars characters as you build their different race tracks and race against the different Cars characters, and it's pretty much a simulation game where you get a top-down view of Radiator Springs as you add more landmarks and buildings to it, and the different homes where your different playable characters can sleep at and get more fuel. And this game's currency consisted of Radiator Springs coins and gems where you can spend and potentially purchase the different cars, but most of them were locked through completing the different missions and tracks that built on. But yeah, this game was absolutely incredible as they got many of the different voice actors from the Cars series like Owen Wilson and Larry the Cable Guy in this game. That's really fucking cool. That's really awesome. And there are also many different activities and stuff and ranking that you can do. And I especially like the Tokyo update where you introduce Komodo and stuff and Yakuza. And the tracks and the layout design were really cool. They're really fucking nice. But I've already discussed Fast as Lightning in a Forlorn Classics episode, so I highly recommend you check that out. But yeah, this game was really, really amazing. Cars Daredevil Garage was developed by Disney. It was released on July 28th, 2015, and was last updated on July 25th, 2016. This game is also another pretty nostalgic Cars game in my opinion, but at the same time, it was kind of meh to me, because I remember first downloading and playing this game back in school at 3rd grade, when I had my Lightning McQueen diecast, and I tried to scan my car. And speaking of which, you can scan Cars diecast cars in real life and put them into the game. And that's why so many of the Cars diecast packaging throughout 2015 and 2016 had the Cars Daredevil Garage app ad and that yellow sticker there where you scan your car and it got in the game. But yeah, it was pretty cool to do, but there were some issues with it, like some people scanning different characters, like a specific one, but they ended up getting another character instead of that character they scanned in the game, so that was pretty weird. And also, while the concept itself is pretty cool, the execution is kind of bland. You basically just race around at different tracks in real life like it's a Hot Wheels game, which is just kind of weird because Cars is about standard racing, not really Hot Wheels, but it is still kind of cool though. Anyways, this game is no longer available to play because, you know, I still tried to get it on like APK, but it doesn't really work. So yeah, I don't think this game is coming back anytime soon. Unless they do a Cars 3 update where they bring it back, but I don't know. Groove Racer was developed by Outfit 7, the same people behind the Talking Tom franchise. It was released on March 11th, 2014, and was last updated on March 28th, 2015. It's a slot car racer type game where the cars are on different slot type tracks, and where if you drive too fast or go to a specific red portion on the track, you will spin out and it will respawn, and the other driver will just zoom right past you and just go on. This game had a lot of different unique tracks, like, you know, says green forest place, a desert, some ice place, and yeah. This game is also pretty nostalgic for me because this is one of the first mobile games I've ever played on my mom's phone, or I guess, you know, or maybe on one of my first devices. Remember when you got your first device and you just started downloading a bunch of games because you didn't really know what was out there? Yeah, that's what I did with my tablet, my red tablet, when I first got it. I had a bunch of fucking games on there. It nearly covered up the entire home screen of my tablet. It was insane. So, yeah. But anyways, as for this game, it's pretty alright. Not the best game in the world, but I really do like the graphics and art style of this game, especially the cube-like art style, especially with the trees and the different tracks. It just feels calming, you know, to me anyways. But yeah, I did try to get this game too, but every time I tried to open it, it just crashed. So unfortunately, this game is just kind of dead right now, and it's a pretty old game. It stopped kind of working a while ago. So yeah. My Toy Car was also developed by Outfit 7, but this is a really, really old fucking game, as this was released back in 2010, so you know that this is pretty much going to be just lost app. But this game is actually considered to be lost media because the only remnants of it is the website description on the older, like, Outfit 7 website and a few screenshots of the game, and that's really about it, because I genuinely cannot find any other information about this game online other than the few screenshots at that website, as well as this app icon you're seeing on the screen right now of the Lotus Elise. But there actually is a simple description of this game. The simple, basics about this game and how it works is that it basically turns your phone into a car, that being the Lotus Elise at the time, and where you can drive around, steer, race, and yeah. There's really nothing much else to this game other than those things, but this is actually a really interesting situation for a mobile game of here, because I've never played it, obviously, and it kind of is considered to be, once again, lost media, because not much about this game is known on the internet. So if you really know something about this game, then let me know, because honestly, this is really, really interesting, and I'm kind of invested here right now. Micro Machines was developed by EA Chillingo. It was released on November 12th, 2015, and was last updated on May 21st, 2018. This game involves you racing the cars based off the Micro Machines toy franchise from, maybe the early 90s. That's the last time I remember them really being known, but I wasn't alive during the 90s. I never really heard of Micro Machines that much, but anyways, yeah, they're basically these small mini cars that you can just play with and stuff, similar to Hot Wheels, except the Micro Machines are, micro because they're smaller. But anyways, as for this mobile game, this will have you just simply racing around as the Micro Machines throughout various different tracks as toy cars, of course, and out to various different places like a school, a toy room, and possibly even, outside maybe. I don't really remember. There's even an arena mode where you can battle against other cars, and an elimination mode in where if you get off the screen, if you get left behind by the other racers and AI, you pretty much just get eliminated and just respawn until the time runs out. So yeah, then you get eliminated. Honestly, this game was really awesome. I remember playing this a lot when I was younger. Definitely a lot of the middle years of my childhood anyways. But I would recommend you would play this, but unfortunately, it seems like the servers are shut down, because I tried downloading the most recent version of the game and it didn't work. It just kind of crashed out on me. It just said to please check your connection again, and it kept doing that every time I hit the thing. So you can't exactly play this game anymore, which sucks because it was so good. The servers got shut down, it seemed like. I don't know why they decided to remove it. Another fuck you to EA. Sup was created by Oh Bye Bye. It was released on March 12, 2017, and was last updated on October 26, 2022. The game basically has, as it says in the title, multiplayer racing, where you can play online races with your friends and stuff and compete with people from the rest of the world. And there's even a wide variety of cars like the Formula 1 vehicles, motorcycles, monster trucks, rally cars, hot rods, quad bikes, tanks, and yeah, those types of vehicles. You can also upgrade your cars by spending coins as a currency, and really that's basically it. Now, this game was honestly pretty cool, and I really liked it at first, so I remember playing it quite a bit, honestly, when I was younger anyway, at least during 2017 times anyway. But still, even then, the game doesn't really get that updated much because it was last updated in 2022, but it still has a lot of life in it still left. It's not like it's been completely abandoned years ago. So yeah, plus it's still on the App Store today. So if you really want to try it, then there's your chance. I highly recommend it. It's a pretty cool game. Turbo League was developed by 04 Games. It was released on January 3rd, 2017, and was last updated on January 25th of this year, so it's still getting updated to this day. Now, the reason this game is pretty nostalgic to me is because, I mean, obviously, just look at it. It's an exact replica of Rocket League, except on mobile, even before Rocket League Sideswipe was a thing. Yeah, so if you wanted to play Rocket League, but if for some reason you didn't have a console, you could just play this as an alternative back in the day. And honestly, as an alternative, this game is not that bad. While it's not perfect because the graphics are nowhere near as good as the original game that's based off, it's still pretty good, and I especially like the car designs. Honestly, I like the car designs in this game a little bit more than the actual Rocket League game because, you know, simply because of how simplistic they are. And honestly, the gameplay itself and the controls, while they're not exactly perfect, it can take a little bit getting used to, at least for me anyways, when I first played it. It's still pretty cool. And also, you can once again upgrade your cars and stuff, and also do the standard stuff like you do in Rocket League, like pushing your ball to the other goalie's goal and scoring the points and ultimately winning the game or losing it if you don't do well. You can also perform jumps and flips and collect more boost throughout the stadium to go faster and keep up with the other opponents and stuff while you're chasing the ball and chasing the other goalie. And honestly, this game, while it's not perfect, it's still pretty good. And it serves as a pretty good, like, you know, Rocket League competitor, I suppose. Or maybe not, because obviously it's nowhere near as, like, polished. But still, I highly recommend you check this game out. Jetpack Suns 2 was developed by True Access. It was released on December 31st, 2013, and was last updated on February 27th, 2020. You control jet cars as you race around the different levels and also just drive around against these white worlds on top of the fucking world. I mean, literally, they're racing on top of the sky right here. Actually, above the sky. They're even above the clouds, some of them. So I don't know how these cars ended up in this fucking sky, but anyways, this game is pretty fun. I remember playing it once again a lot when I was a younger kid and stuff, you know, back when I first got my device and I decided to get this game, or I just downloaded it on my mom's phone and played it while she was doing her job at work and everything like that. So yeah, this game is pretty cool. And people have created several different levels for this game that are honestly, they look pretty insane. And I really want to play them, but unfortunately, this kind of costs a little bit of money for the game, so I end up having to download an APK version of it. And actually, that's really the first APK download I've ever did in my life ever. So yeah, I really owe it to this game. It's really cool, and it's still on the App Store to this day, honestly, despite it not being updated for a while since 2020. So yeah, check this game out, baby. Highway Rider was developed by Battery Acid Games. It was released on April 28th, 2012, and was last updated on July 29th, 2022. This is another classic, nostalgic childhood game for me. I remember playing this game maybe once or twice when I was younger, but I still vividly remember playing it for the first time, and it was really cool. This is a game where you race on a motorcycle and just achieve the highest score possible, really. So yeah, also the crashing in this game is super funny, and I think you all remember that clip I showed of you. The mobile version of Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 was developed by EA, the same people who made the console version. It was released on October 18th, 2012, and was last updated on December 3rd, 2019. The game basically follows the exact same beat as the main console version, basically, as, you know, it basically just has you race against the different cars or possibly even the most wanted for the previous games, and you obviously outrun the cops as you do in a Need for Speed game, and also just race around and you unlock different cars. And unlike the console version, there's actually some really decent customization here, not exactly with the body parts, but more of the colors and design. In the console version of the game, the cars designs there are kind of just, in terms of color and paint jobs, just kind of bland because they're mostly just black and white and shit in order to fit that game's theme. But for the mobile version, you actually get different color, different cars and other AI racers you can race against, and it's pretty cool. And also, the graphics are decently really good for its time, and while they're not perfect because they could be seen as easily dated nowadays, they still look pretty cool. And honestly, I also tried to download this game, but it's too much file size, and also it didn't really work because it said resources cannot be found. So unfortunately, I can't really experience this one, even though I really want to. But yeah, maybe I will try to someday in the future in a Forlorn Classics episode, because I feel like this mobile version does have a lot of things going for it. So yeah. Road Right was developed by Titan Mobile. It was released on August 20th, 2013, and was last updated on December 17th, 2018. The game focuses on you upgrading your cars with different weapons and abilities as you shoot through the different, traffic enemy cars that are standing in your way. And you occasionally fight a boss car, and you get to blow up a gasoline car, filled with a truck, And yeah, I seriously remember this game. I have seriously fond memories of it. This is mostly due to my dad playing this game a lot back when I was younger, when I would watch him play a mobile game, and this is the game that he played the most. And I really had a lot of fond memories with that because those were the good old days, the classic days when I was younger and stuff. But I used to play a lot of mobile games too, so those are some pretty good times, especially since the graphics today and the general art style of this game are really good, and I really like them a lot. And especially different car designs and stuff, even though it's a top-down view racer, it's still really cool. And honestly, this game might be a little dated, but still, it's really nice. I highly recommend you check it out. It's still available on the App Store, and you can still get it on an APK and stuff, so yeah, it's still available. Fast Racing 3D is a particularly nostalgic game for me because of how simple it is. I mean, the graphics pretty much suck, honestly, and well, the car models could use a lot of work, but overall, this game is still really, really good, simply for one reason: the fact that to this day, it's still decently fun. The drifting physics are not the best, but still, they're really cool to just drift the cars around. The car upgrade system is decent, and even though the car designs themselves are kind of basic, they're still decently alright. So, this is it. That's the last game I'm going to be talking about today. Fast Racing 3D. It's a really nostalgic game, and I still highly recommend you check it out. And that was the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed going through all the different games with me, and yeah, maybe I'll probably discuss some of these another day in fuller detail in Forlorn Classics, but for that series, I still want to focus on other types of media rather than just video games. I want to talk about movies and shows now, and possibly more lost characters anyway. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you and goodbye.